Right, with me I have Dr. Ross Tucker of the Sports Science Institute of UCT. Now, Dr. Tucker, you gave a very inspiring speech here at the stakeholders conference of the Namibia Rugby Union. Maybe just shortly summarize that for us.
My take-home message, I think, is that in sport, the environment is so unforgiving because we know that 1% differences are large enough that you can go from being first to being nowhere. And when you're playing in an environment where 1% makes that big an impact, you have to accept a no-compromise attitude. And that means that you can't compromise on the people that you employ. And you'll hear a lot of talk about strategies and facilities and all sorts of other things about how sports teams become successful. But the bottom line is that your success lies with your people. And your people bring with them their attitudes, their beliefs, their securities and insecurities, but ultimately it's the culture that they bring with. And if you don't embrace certain aspects that I think are common not only to sport but to business, then you have no way of achieving that 100%. And those three things, the first one is that you have to embrace uncertainty. You have to question everything, you have to challenge everything. Because if you settle for what you're doing now, by tomorrow you're out of date. Sport evolves so quickly that what worked today doesn't work tomorrow. So you have to constantly innovate, constantly drive progress. And then related to that is you can't innovate unless you're prepared to fail. Because who's perfect first time? No one. And so unless you are prepared to fail, sometimes with pretty negative consequences, you can never become better. And so coaches need to understand this, managers need to understand this, players need to understand this. And then the final one is that you have to adopt a culture where perfection is your only acceptable standard. If you're not aspiring to be perfect, then you are playing for second place because someone else will be. And so what does perfection mean? It means that every single detail has to be optimized. Every single decision has to be made with the interests of that perfect culture in mind. And all of this comes down to the people. It's finding the right people in the right jobs at the right time. If you get that right, you win. If any one of those things is not there, unfortunately, even if you score 99%, you don't win. And that's the bottom line.